You ready, guys? Is everybody ready? We're all chill. So, second one of these, which is awesome. The first one was really good. But so obviously we're here for the Veteran Centre. This is the whole point of these things, and it's Men's Mental Health Month too. So this is a really special time to be doing it. So I'm really honoured to be here and doing it. And as always, thanks to Ben at HL4K for giving us the place to do it because it looks awesome. So that helps. We've also got Ash from Men's Walking and Talking group here, and I think we're going to sit down with him next because he also is a good stand-up guy in the community and helping people. And the community is so important. You know, I'm only here because of my gym, Groundhammer, next door. That community is overlapped with this one, and it's incredible. So we'll just get going. And obviously, Kieran was in the military and had to leave, was forced to leave, really, you know, and has pursued something else, which is Hawk Canine. So follow his stuff because it's incredible what he's doing. So basically, Key, how did you get into the army in the first place? What led you to be in the army?
First off, a lot of and ahhing when I was a kid.
Right.
Yeah, obviously going through school, I didn't really know what to do. Went to college because I was like, everyone goes to college. Went to college, and then I started my second year of college, and they were like, you need to apply for university. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. There's no way I can do another 3 years sat in a classroom. I'm out. So I was like, right, what do I do now? And for me, like growing up, dogs were my passion. So I was just like, right, where can I work with dogs? Narrowed it down. Police, military, they're probably my two best options. Selling point, you had to be a copper for 2 years before you could specialise. Right. The army, they were like, as soon as you join up, you can work with dogs.
Like day one.
Let's do that then.
Basic training and then you pass basic and that's it.
As soon as you finish your basic training, straight into being a dog handler, and that's it. Learn how to be a dog handler, and I was like, sold. That's what we're doing. Yeah. So that's how we ended up on that. Obviously, going into the recruitment office, they were like, nope, the waiting list is too long. There's only 20 people a year will join up as dog handler. Not a chance you'll get in the next. I think they said 3 to 5 years was the waiting list. So I was just like,
3 to 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, right, someone's got to join. They let 20 people join, so someone's got to be on that list. So I was like, that's what I want to do. I had to put 2 other options when I signed up. So I put artillery and infantry because I was like, I didn't know what else to put. They kept ringing me up. Oh, if you want to join the artillery, you can join up on Monday. It's like, stop ringing me. Unless it's dog handler, don't ring me because for me it was I only joined the army to work with dogs
for one reason.
Yeah. That was my passion. Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't have enjoyed the army at all.
No, of course not. So you pursued. So it was a pursuing of your passion.
Yeah.
But did you have anyone that like kind of advised you or funneled you into that like role? What advice did you have when you were looking to? Because school kind of funnels you in a direction. You had said you go to college.
Yeah.
And then the culmination of college funneled you into university. So you're kind of being funneled through these systems into someone else's expectation of what you should be doing. But you obviously decided, no, I'm going to pursue my passion, which was dogs. But did anyone say, like, do you have family in the military or?
Yeah, so my old man being in the military, that was probably another selling point between police, army. Probably a lot of my dad going, nah, army. Yeah. So he's come home from college and he's got a recruitment brochure for dog handler in the army. You sure you don't want to do this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we'll do that then.
Well, that makes sense. It's following in people's footsteps. I had the same thing. My dad wanted me to join police officer, always wanted me to join the police, trying to funnel me in a direction that wasn't right for me.
Yeah. Because I guaranteed if dad was a police officer,
he would have
be sat here now going, I've just spent the last 14 years as a police officer.
Yeah, it's a really good thing to do, you know? But these are learned behaviors. Like we learn how to do things from systems, you know?
Yeah.
Systems that we see work. Because the proof is in the pudding. Yeah. And then the unknown is scary. So like, oh, well, this is known, so I'll go this way because I can see the path ahead of me. Yeah. But you saw your own path in the dogs, you know? Yeah. Because they're awesome. So what did you, when you joined, what was it like? The whole process of like signing up, basic training, how did you find that?
So with that initial waiting list, I was in a year later. So I was quite glad that I just went, nah, I'm doing dog handler. Yeah. Because I was just constantly like dogs. Yeah. So a year later, I was in basic training. And that was probably the hardest bit for me, obviously, when you first join up. Just turned 19.
Young.
Never been away from home before. All of a sudden, I've got uniform on and I'm being screamed at, shouted at. And I'm like, cry myself to sleep at night, ringing my mum, I want to come home.
Mummy, save me. I did the same in uni.
Yeah.
My first night in university, 18 years old, and I was in this horrible cheap bed with this cheap, I was like, oh, so homesick, so homesick. I was like, get me out of here. Get me out of
My
here.
mum was like, no, you ain't coming over. All
Yeah,
right.
basically, yeah. That's it.
So yeah, it's like, so you do 14 weeks. So I did my 14 weeks, you get to the end of your basic training. And then it's like, right, we've learned how to be a soldier now. Then it's like, right now, the excitement bit.
Okay,
Obviously, that's exciting anyway, but then
Yeah.
it's like, right now, the reason I joined was, well, to do this.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I get to go and do that now. I get to go and run around with dogs, and instantly fell in love with it all.
Yeah, I can
Like,
imagine.
just seeing a dog, just going in, like, first time I remember just being stood outside the dog's kennel. They're like, right, you've got that dog for the next 10 weeks. And you stood outside the kennel with a dog lead, like,
Let's go.
good boy.
I bet that was so exciting, man.
Yeah.
Because it's a passion of yours.
Yeah.
And so you're focused on one thing. It's like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
else exists. You're not distracted by this, distracted by that. You're laser focused on the...
Yeah.
Because that's what dogs are like, eh? I imagine when you're training a dog to
Oh,
do
yeah.
something, they are laser focused on the task. They're not distracted when they've got a
Yeah.
task at hand,
Yeah. And seeing dogs just work things out as well is just so rewarding. Like, as the trainer, just watching a dog just slowly suss stuff out, slowly going from dog doesn't know anything to all of a sudden dog's doing all this.
Yeah.
They're like taking that step by step, breaking it all down. It's just, it's so nice just to see those gentle steps
So rewarding.
going. Yeah.
The baby steps. That's
Yeah.
the seeing of the progress.
Yeah.
I think that's why people are so addicted to their phones. Everyone stares at a screen all the time because it's progress. You're watching this thing, waiting for the next best bit. Well, if you actually do it physically, like with training a dog, where you're teaching somebody else to do those baby steps, and it becomes a positive upwards trend as opposed to a negative downwards trend of just like, oh, what's next?
Yeah.
I'm curious, what was the coaching like for you? Like, obviously, because you were 19 years old, you just passed basic training, you have to go and learn how to train a dog. So what were your superiors like in teaching you the skills necessary?
So I was quite lucky because the troop sergeant I had, his name is Gary Rutherford. He's now a major, so he's gone all the way through. But he was like someone who I idolised like my whole career. From the second I met him. He wouldn't come in, scream, shout. He just came in, and he was such a knowledgeable person on dogs. Like, I learned so much. I remember we were on an exercise phase, and you expect your troop sergeant to boot the door down, then all of a sudden like throwing stuff at you, right, everyone get up. But it was like a slow night, and I think I was on stag at like 2 a.m, and he just I just see him appear, and I'm like, oh no, here we go, what's happening? And he just like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just patrolling. And he was just like, nah, let's do some training. I'm like, oh, okay.
No
and
way.
like little things was like, my dog, Bex, in basic training, she would never leave the bite. So you put the dog on the bite, dog was on the bite, you give the dog 2 chances, leave, no, not coming, leave, no, and then you just go and collect the dog off. And he was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, this dog has never left for me.
Right.
And he was like, let's work on it. And it was just me and him, just in a field at 2 a.m. when we're supposed to be on exercise. He's like, right, let's do this, do this, do this, do this.
Wow.
And I remember the first time I saw the dog pop off the bite, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, what's the next stage?
You haven't given me that bit of information yet. You taught you so far. That's awesome. That shows a really good coach who's willing to go against the system. The system says you need to be doing exercise or stag, but he's like, there's a better use of our time right now.
Yeah.
Like, you have an actual goal. You have something. You have a problem. You can't get the dog off bite.
Yeah.
And this guy saw that and said, well, let's do that then. What do you want to learn, as opposed to you should learn this?
Yeah.
He asked, well, why didn't they do that in school?
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that in our education system? They say to you, you should learn this and you should learn that. Why don't they ask the kids what they want to learn?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
a kid doesn't know.
That's it, yeah.
Doesn't know. You didn't know what you wanted to do when you were in college. And they tried to force you to go to university, tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Sick of people telling them what to do all the time. People just make people their own minds.
Yeah.
So he was quite a prominent figure then. How long were you under him for?
So he was only my instructor for the 10 weeks on phase 2.
Okay.
But then that guy, full circle towards the end of my career, he was then the welfare officer who, when I started going through all my mental health issues,
No
he
way.
was the first person because he was the welfare officer, and I sat down with him and I was just like, I felt more comfortable talking to him because
Of
I was
course.
like, because I've looked up to you so much
Yeah.
and like, I've kind of mirrored your career a little bit,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I felt quite happy to open up to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was weird how it
That's
went
weird,
full
isn't
circle
it? How
back
it came
to
back.
him.
Well, it
Yeah.
always does. Everything comes back around eventually. But that's really interesting. I mean, I guess you needed him, and you knew who he was too. He'd
Yeah.
shown you who he was in the way that he coached you.
Yeah.
He didn't hide from you. And you said, I know this guy. I can trust him.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
be honest with him. That's important. So basic training, you go into handling dogs. So how long is that process before you actually get to active duty? Like before you can take your dog and you're off on your own? Like what's that process like?
So it's, we did 14 weeks basic training and 10 weeks your phase 2 training to be a dog handler. And then it's like, right, you're now a class 3 handler. So like brand new handler to your unit, there's a dog. And I remember getting to my unit and I'm still really good friends with the lads who, his name was Sheps. And he had a dog called Barney. Big, fluffy German Shepherd.
Big Barney.
And he went to Afghan with that dog. He had just got back from Afghan. And the dog loved to pull. Like that dog, one of those dogs would just sink into its collar and just pull and pull and pull. And he was over the moon that he got to hand that dog over to me. He seen me walk in, and he was just like the youngest lad in the squadron now.
Oh, no.
There's the dog that pulls you everywhere.
Oh my God. So he handed you a good challenge then?
Yeah, handed me Barney.
Here's Barney. Good luck, pal.
Yeah, had him for a bit. And then I quickly moved from doing, so you join up as a protection handler, you learn how to do all the attack dogs, and then you can specialise.
Okay.
Because Afghan was so big at the time, they were like, we need a lot of search handlers. So then I specialised as a high assurance search handler, and then that's what I deployed to Afghanistan. So that was 21 when I deployed. Got given my dog Freddie when I was out there. And yeah, that all of a sudden, I'm a 21-year-old in Afghan working with search teams looking for IEDs.
And so you hadn't met Freddie before you went to so that you get to Afghan and then they give you a dog. You don't take your dog.
Yeah. So with you've got the dog regiment and then you've got 5 squadrons.
Right.
A lot of at the time of Afghan, there would be like a big group of dogs. Whoever the next one going out was, they had the most dogs.
Right. Okay.
So the dogs would get shifted around to squadrons.
Like handover.
Yeah. So like the 6 month prior to us going, we ended up with all the dogs.
Right.
And then we went through all these dogs. And I had a dog called Stegan on the build up to Afghan.
Right.
So everyone in my section deployed with their dogs except for me. Because my dog Stegan, when we was in Jordan, when we'd done the pre-deployment training, for some reason, I don't know why, there was one day he just decided, don't want to do this anymore. And he was just going out, searching, just walking over the devices that we had buried in. He just wasn't indicating on it. And that got to the point where I was like, looked at my section commander and went, not doing it. I'm not going on tour with this dog.
No.
And he was just like,
you can't trust him.
Say no more. He was like, I need you to trust your dog. If you do not trust this dog, you are not going on tour with it. I was like, thank you.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So I guess, so you always kind of were a bit separate anyway, like thought a bit different to the crowd. And then you're the only guy out there that hasn't brought his dog.
Yeah.
Everything for a reason. You don't know why. That dog maybe had a reason why he said, I'm not going.
Yeah.
You know, it's spooky, isn't it?
I think it's the reason that happened is because I was meant to work with Freddie.
Yeah.
Because me and him were like, straight, the second we met, I remember walking down, like the high assurance search dogs were renowned for being a bit tapped.
Right.
The Malays, because you need a Malay that's going to put its nose on the ground and walk out 30 meters, turn around and walk back. Yeah. It takes a special tapped dog to be able to do that. So yeah, and I remember walking down the line and we're like, come on, Kieran, let's go meet your dog. And there's all these dogs just, and they're like, there's your dog. And Freddie was just sunbathing. And I was just like, yes.
Yes, thank God for Freddie. Thank you, Freddie.
I was like, hey, Freddie. And he just like put his head up and was like, oh. And then just like put his head back down. I was like, me and you are going to get along so well.
Bro. I love that. I love that. So, but somebody else had trained Freddie first?
Yeah.
I'm assuming. So Freddie has to come preloaded.
Yeah. So Freddie was on his 5th tour when I took him over.
His 5th tour?
Yeah.
So he was a veteran, basically.
Yeah, he was.
Was he tired, do you think? Is that why he lay down in the sun?
Yeah, I think he was just like, I know this game. New handler's going to turn up. We're going to go and carry on doing the job.
Yeah. I know what I'm doing. Oh, okay, bro. So do you think Freddie looked after you?
Yeah.
As much as you looked after him?
Yeah.
That's special, man.
He was showing me the ropes.
Yeah, I bet. That's the bond between man and beast is incredible. It really is, because I think it responds more to intention than anything else.
Yeah.
Use all the words that you want, but a dog will respond better to your intention. And so do people as well. You can tell people something, but if you don't really believe what you're telling them, they won't believe your words.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But a dog knows. A dog knows if you're lying to it or not.
Yeah.
So you say what you want, you know?
I still remember the foot. So because Freddie was already out there, all the other dogs had to acclimatise and then start training. Because Freddie was already there, already acclimatised, we went straight into training, and then you've got to go through licensing with the dog to make sure you work together.
Okay.
So we were the first ones now, even though I'd only just got him, because
you were still first to go.
Yeah, we were like, right, you two, you're ready to go. See you later.
Everything for a reason, man. So how long is that process? So you land in Afghanistan, you get given your dog, you meet Freddie. I'm assuming you're in Bastion, Camp Bastion?
Camp Bastion, yeah.
How long then is that process before you're allowed to leave the camp and actually go out into an active war zone?
It's usually about 3-4 weeks
Okay.
with
So
the dogs.
not that long, really.
Yeah.
3 weeks isn't a crazy
But
amount
usually,
of
like
time.
with the infantry, they tend to they'll turn up, they'll do a little bit of acclimatization, and they're straight out the door. Like within a week, that's them.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously as a dog handler, you do get a little bit extra time.
Well, it's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
The
'cause
risk
it's
to
like,
reward.
Get used to the dog gets used to you, and then it's you go through the licensing phase to make sure you're operating correctly with the dog, you're safe, the dog's finding everything that it has to find.
Yeah.
And then we also help the search teams, because the search teams then also have to license as a team together. Then we'll go and get involved with those. And what was really nice, because Freddie did quite a lot, we did quite a lot, because we got there quite quickly, it was just like, right, this team needs a dog, you go. So we got to the point where those teams were going out, and they're like, oh, when's Kieran and Freddie coming out? Then the next team were like, when's Kieran and Freddie coming out? So already I was just like, okay, this is a good feeling. Having like so many teams, like again, first time being away, everyone else in my section had already done tours.
Yeah.
So being the young guy who people were already requesting was just such a nice feeling before we even went out on the ground. And
because you felt valued.
Yeah.
And validated too.
Yeah.
Because it's if you've worked hard and then people recognise that and they ask for you, that's true validation.
Yeah.
You know? Which is that's awesome, man. What was your what was like the scariest bit about all of that then? Obviously 21 when you went out?
21, yeah.
21. It's a young age to go to war.
Yeah.
What was the scariest bit, do you think?
I think there's a few things that stick out to me. It's sort of like the first. It was like the first time getting on the helicopter. So it was just like, right, I'm leaving now. Like I'm with my section who I've been training with for the past year and a half. And it was like, now, yeah, you've got your dog, you're licensed. You're going to go get on the helicopter, fly out to a patrol base, and you'll just meet your team out there. You don't know who you're going to, what team's out there? Oh, I don't know yet. Oh, okay, cool. So
fear of the unknown then, I guess. Yeah,
so
that transition.
That was a fearful one. But then it was like I landed and it was like, oh no. It was like got off the heli and then people are like, who are you working with? They're like, oh, search team. And they're like, oh yeah, cool, I'll take you to the tent. And you walk through and then you start seeing faces that you recognise and you're like, oh thank God, I know you guys. So everything calms down again.
Bit of familiarity.
Yeah,
friendly face.
And then next one, I remember going on a road move and it was like one of the vehicles on the road move broke down at the front. And then as soon as it broke down, there was loads of kids running out, trying to rip stuff off the vehicles, trying to steal stuff off us. And the section commander, I was like, oh, should I just jump out with a dog? No one will come near us with a dog. So me and him jumped out and was there for about 5 minutes, just walking up and down. And then all of a sudden, rounds were coming in, jump back in. It's like, nah, we're doing, kids can have what they want.
Oh my God, man. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I think the dog was a caster then, seeing, they're like, oh, and that's what...
Yeah, because it was like, not a lot of people like see the like the dogs out there, so it was always like, right.
Yeah, well, that's part of their culture. They don't really like dogs.
We always got told in Afghan as well. You know, it was always like the stories of tour. And they're like, yeah, they're aiming for the dog handlers because they know we look for the IEDs.
Right, yeah.
But we only had 2 people get killed in the whole of Afghanistan, Ken Rowe and Liam Tasker.
No way.
The only 2, and it was like if they were aiming for us and they wanted to us, then there would have been more than 2.
Yeah. But looking for those mines and the IDs, that's I think that's a really scary, scary element of it, because it's like you just said there. What was the scariest bit? And it was the fear of the unknown. It's those transitionary stages. I mean, when we're here as a veteran centre, one of the scariest things about being in the military is leaving the military. It's the transition from one state to the next. Yeah. From life to death. People are innately scared of death. Yeah. Because death is an unknown. So it was getting on that heli for the first time. It was landing for the first time. These transition things are the scariest bit. My good friend, he joined at 17, tore at 20, 21, and I can't remember the name for it, but the guy that's at the front that sweeps for the mines.
Yeah, the Val man.
Yeah. Terrified. I was terrified for him. Yeah. Absolutely terrified for him when he was out there. You know, it's...
Especially the Valens, because obviously they started off, they're just detect metal. Mm-hmm. They're watching us. They realise, the first IEDs that they made were bits of wood with saw, so a lot of metal, so it would ping them. Yeah. Then they realised what we were doing, so they stopped putting metal, and then they put cross wires on it, and that would complete the circuit. So then it was like, oh, well, the metal detector's no longer picking that up, so now it's like, right, well, now we need to change and get different things in. And that's why the dogs in Afghanistan were just so good. Like there was every single patrol that would go out would take a dog with them. Yeah. Because they were proven. Yeah. They were just finding stuff every single day. Yeah. And
you have to progress, don't you?
Yeah. There was always the stuff as well. People like come in and be like, oh, so we've got intel that they're digging in IEDs and then they're peeing on the ground because they think that's going to stop the dogs finding it. And it was just like, that's just going to give them more scent. My dog's just going to walk over and go,
Yeah.
there's human smell here.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an IED underneath it. Indicate. Oh, you've
So
made my
they've
job
made it
even easier.
even easier. But this is an interesting about progress. It's like most of the technology that we have, I think everything that we have comes from a necessity of war, dominance hierarchy.
Yeah.
You know, so they realized, you know, that they had to change their methods, and then the military had to change their methods, and this gives us progress forwards towards something, and most of it comes from war, which is quite scary, really. You know, all the technology that we have normally starts in military bases before.
Yeah.
Phone screens, the internet, that all comes from military, but look at what it's doing to us now. It brings us together, connection to the phones, but we're never more separate than we have been. But we should be closer, which is interesting. So I'm assuming at this point, when you're on active tour, that you're probably, I say enjoying, it's a weird word, but like in some way, you're enjoying being out there. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, because I think like the generation that I was when I joined, and a lot of people that I joined with, we knew we were going straight out.
Yeah.
Like you knew as soon as you joined up, you were going out to Afghan.
Yeah.
So it was sort of like a lot of people joined for that reason as well.
That's why my friend joined. He wanted to go to war.
Yeah. So it's sort of like you understood. That's our friend.
Oh, he's a puppy.
And it is it's that sense of like you do it in training so much. It's pretend. You're like pretend.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're doing this for real.
Oh, it's go time.
Sending Freddie out, and when he actually found an IED, and it was just like, oh, that's real.
I
Like,
bet
he's now
he,
staring at a real IED.
Oh my God.
Because it was like in your head, you're always just like, right, out on the ground. If Freddie changes his behaviour, because you read the dog, change your behaviour, right?
Yeah.
I know he's going to indicate. And I would always, in my head, I was always like, when we're doing this for real, if he changes his behaviour, I'll get him back to me. I won't go through the process of him indicating, because then we're looking at I've got to recall my dog.
Yeah.
He's going to be sat right over an IED.
Oh, it's
But
become scary.
Freddie decided when we found the first IED that he was going to give the perfect indication. He just like walked out, no change of behaviour, bum straight to the floor. I was like, oh no, he's indicated. I was like,
Oh, what do I do now? Oh no. That must have been really rewarding though.
Yeah.
When that first reading and it worked and it was the correct thing. That must have been very rewarding.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because it was like sort of like as I was coming up to it, it was a job that was supposed to take us a few hours. We're still at the second day now. We're still clearing through because we just kept finding stuff.
Yeah.
And the team went out to begin with, and they just like isolated the bit what we're going to be searching through. You go down, the building's coming down, bridge over, everything screamed. There's going to be an IED on that bridge. So as soon as I got there, I was just like, there's going to be something on this bridge.
Yeah, you just knew. Sometimes you do that. Sometimes you just know something without really knowing it. You just know.
Yeah.
There's a feeling there. You know, it's a gut feeling.
Yeah.
You go to some places and you know war memorials and stuff. Me and Ash were just talking about Omaha Beach, and you know you can just feel an energy there.
Yeah.
And it's the same. And I guess it comes down to fear of the unknown. With that place, you can see, this is, and also from experience, a bridge is a very likely place to put an IED because it's a transition from one place to another. People have to be funneled, through that. So it's a great place for combat. Bridges are a great place to attack somebody because they are vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like in this society, the system has funneled us into a place where we're vulnerable, which is why everyone is so disconnected from themselves. Because everyone feels pretty vulnerable because they have no power left. So that's where I want to go next, really. So we understand how important discipline and honor in the military is. You know, it's a brotherhood, it's a tribe. You had a purpose, you had a goal, you had a passion, and you've pursued that.
Yeah.
And then you went on active duty, and you probably felt super rewarded. But what happened? What happened next? Where did things start to go wrong?
So after that, I was just so busy all the time. I just wanted to do everything. Like I joined up for the purpose of, I wanted to be an SF dog trainer. That was like the end goal. And I was like, what can I do to get to there? So I just made every single thing the purpose of getting to that point.
Right.
So it was like, right, I need to become a dog trainer. I've got the tour, tick.
Yeah.
I need to become a trainer. So I went to Melbourne, became a trainer. So 3.5 years training dogs, just every single day, boom, 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 boom. And then got promoted from that. Now a full screw. Right, I've got the rank, got the experience. I'm a trainer. Let's do this. So it's like, we want you to get experience as a section commander first. I was like, okay, cool, I'll do that.
Yeah.
What can I do here? Luckily enough, I don't know how I managed it, but it came up, do you want to go to New Zealand for 4 months and work with the New Zealand Special Forces? Yes, please.
Come on, then, why not?
Because they didn't have any dog trainers, so they're like, you're the first dog trainer who'll go out there. So I was like, yeah, I'll go do that. So I went out there for 4 months. got back from that, and then it was just like, oh, there's a job out in Saudi now. We've got to go out to Saudi for a few months, train some of the people out in Saudi. I was like, yeah, that's just going to benefit me getting posted to Hereford. So then got back from that, and then it was like, yeah, cool, now you can go to Hereford. So back to Hereford, and then it was just Hereford, as you can imagine, busy, couple of tours, overseas, training teams, all that good stuff. And then I stopped, and that was the issue.
Why did you stop?
So I posted back from here, so it was busy.
Yeah.
And then basically got promoted to sergeant.
Right.
Sat behind a desk. Brick wall.
So it was the promotion and the progress that stopped you,
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
You transitioned from something you were thoroughly enjoying, keeping you busy, training, working hard, achieving things, to then be told this is your next role.
Yeah.
Was it your decision to go to behind a desk? Was that your decision, or?
Well, I chose, the job I chose was being a senior dog trainer for the dog regiment. So in the dog regiment, you've got so many different jobs as sergeants, and some of these jobs, especially like training ones, they're supposed to be for the more senior sergeants. So it was quite nice that I got selected.
Yeah.
First time sergeant, yeah, you're coming in to do this job.
Nice.
You're the right person for it. So in my opinion, I was like, right, I'm a senior dog trainer. My job isn't behind a desk. My job is out there helping the new lads
100%.
train their dogs.
Yeah, that's rewarding.
Yeah.
You've learned how to train a dog. Now you can teach people how to train dogs.
Yeah.
That's progress.
Yeah.
Student becomes the master.
Yeah.
You know, and then
But then the amount of red tape around, especially the military nowadays, where health and safety, you have to have a risk assessment for a soldier going to a kennel and clipping a dog out and walking out, something that they've done 20 million times. There has to be a risk assessment every single day written for that, risk assessments. And then it was sort of got to the point where I was like, it's my job to facilitate my lads to go out and do their job. So I had to kind of bite that bullet and go, someone has to do this.
Someone has to do it.
It has to be me.
Someone's got to do it. Yeah.
And that's just what drove me insane. Then it was, you know, you've got officers coming at you going, this needs to do this. And you're like, well, that's not realistic. It's not happening. But then they're like, no, it has to happen. So then they'll try and make your life hard. When I'm like, I'm not sending my lads on back-to-back exercises constantly because they're going to get...
Yeah, it's not fair on them.
Yeah. But they want that, and then it's like you're battling them. You're constantly trying to look after you, and then slowly over time you completely forget about yourself.
Yeah, of course you do.
And it just becomes a slippery slope.
Because you're sacrificing your morals for somebody else's idea.
Yeah.
And when that somebody else's idea is bureaucracy for the sake of it, red tape for the sake of it, without any personal responsibility, it's soul destroying.
Yeah.
And this is the same in every single industry. If you're a teacher, you'll have the exact same problem. You won't actually be able to teach those kids properly because somebody else thinks that you need to fill out this form and that form. And it's the same in every industry. It's the same in my industry. It's why I don't do, I do construction work, and it's why I won't work in commercial settings. You know, I won't, because I'll have to jump through so many hoops. I can't be efficient at my job. And when people take my time and make me inefficient, it's really frustrating to the point where it makes me angry.
Yeah.
So I just leave then.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, okay, if I can't control the situation, then I'll have to walk away, won't I?
Yeah.
But if you follow me, then we've got a problem.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that was like with being moving into the sergeant's mess, and then it was, I'm now living with these people, but I don't agree with anything that they're doing. It becomes very isolating because I'm going in, that's not right. You shouldn't be doing that. That's not right. And it got to the point where I had lots of soldiers coming to me being like, I need help with this. And I'm like, well, now that you've come to me, I have to report that because it's wrong.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now, those people are coming to me in the mess being like, how dare you do this? And I'm like, well, your soldiers are coming to me because they've got issues with you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden...
Why is it your fault?
Yeah. And then it's easier just to then label, Kieran's a gobshite. He's just a gobshite, leave him alone. And then it becomes very isolating because then it's like, you know, the army rules, I'm not allowed to go over to the juniors ranks because then there's that divide, sergeants, juniors.
Yeah.
So I can't go over and see them. But if we were going out, then I could just ring up and, you're going out, I'll come out with you. In the mess, didn't really get along with anyone. So then all of a sudden, my life is just me and her.
Complete isolation.
Yeah.
And almost social humiliation for going against the grain.
Yeah.
Because most people would much rather just lie down and accept somebody else's idea than they would speak up for themselves because it's easier.
Yeah.
Because social humiliation equals death. If you are ostracized from the tribe, you're left to your own devices. You haven't got a pack to help feed you and to help you.
Yeah.
And that's a scary place to be.
Yeah.
It really is. This is bullying.
Yeah.
And it's a systemic problem. It's a sickness of a system that's corrupt.
Yeah.
And that's capitalism. It's the path of least resistance. Look at new homes that we build. My industry, again, I can only relate this back to what I know, which is construction. And I've worked on new build houses, and if you buy one, I feel sorry for you because they are built so cheaply that they will not last.
Yeah.
They will not. You move in and the plaster cracks immediately because no one has any pride in their work because they can't. The profit margins are too small. So it's the same in the military. They slap a Band-Aid over the problem because they can't afford to fix the problem because there's too much debt because money. That's a whole other can of worms. But you can't separate the fact. You cannot separate the fact that it's capitalism and greed above all else that has done this to the world.
Yeah.
So you faced real challenges then, so what was the solution? What was the thought pattern? Whilst you were isolated?
Yeah.
What was your thought pattern at that time?
Well, that's when you're in that stage. The thought, you end up in your own head, and I just spiraled. Mm-hmm. So Freddie, the dog that I had in Afghanistan, I'd rehomed him. He had been my pet for years.
Yeah.
And just before all this happened, he passed away as well. So that was sort of like, right, all the burnout from my career, Freddie passing away, he was sort of he was the thing that grounded me.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he's gone, and I'm like, right, okay, I'm going through all this. And this was obviously before I got her. And then it was like, right, I think I need help. So it was one of my mates, I went to him first, and it was actually quite nice because I'd come home, I lived out in Marden at the time, and I got drunk and I just trashed my house. And I woke up in the morning, I was like, oh God.
Oh no.
And that was like in my head went, this ain't normal. So went to my mate and went, I need help. And then that's when I sat down with the guy who was my troop sergeant in basic. And then he was just like, okay, I need you in the med center now. So literally drove me to the med center. And he was like, I've literally spoke to the doctors, you're going in there now. So I went in there and it was like, right, medication. And I think like meds, I've got a very my brain, pros and cons, I think both. Pros, because my mind was at the point where I needed a hard stop on, because if I didn't have a hard stop, I think it would have just got even worse and worse and worse and worse.
You need a cushion of some description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I don't like about them is that there was no plan. They just went, there's the meds, we'll put you on the waiting list for DCMH, the mental health doctors, and that was it. I was like, okay. And then I'd go back in, how are you doing on the meds? Yeah, all right. Okay, see you again. Go back in, how are you doing on the meds? Oh, well, I'm getting really angry at work. Okay, just take 2 tablets instead of 1. Okay. And then it was like, went through the DCMH. And again, with DCMH, I think they put me just in the wrong group.
Yeah.
I had a group, and it was just sort of like, someone was saying that they were depressed because they couldn't pass a fitness test. There was a guy just moaning about his wife. And I was like, I think you need marriage counselling.
Yeah. I think the other guy needs some motivation or some discipline,
And then it was like going around the room. I still remember going around the room one day, and it was just, it got to me, and I was just like, I physically watched myself smash my ops officer's head against his own desk. And then I had to remove myself from work because I was like, I can't trust myself. So I left.
Yeah.
And they were just like, okay, next. And it was like, okay, we're not going to touch that. So then that was it. When they're like, not going to touch it, I'm just sat there just like, okay, cool, I'm not going to share again then.
Well, that is complete, because it's complete powerlessness. Because you realise that these people, their intention is not to actually help you. Their intention is to get you back out the door and get you back to work so you can benefit a system that doesn't benefit you.
Yeah.
We're feeding a hand that bites us, that whole phrase, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Well, we've got it twisted, man.
Yeah.
We're feeding this system constantly with tax and medication. That's not how it can help.
Yeah.
You agree? You've been through it?
Yeah.
It can help.
Yeah.
Of course it can.
There has to be a plan.
There has to be a plan.
Has to be a plan.
You have to tackle the root cause, because if you just keep slapping Band-Aids over these problems, you will never fix the problem. It's why all our roads are so fucked. Because they just keep digging them up over and over again because they won't fix the actual goddamn problem, which is the water table runoff. I mean, that's, again, I can only relate to what I know about my industry, but it's the same problems arise.
Yeah.
It's same text, different font. Exactly the same story, because there's only one story, and greed is evil. And this is a systemic problem of greedy people. And the people that enforce the policies, it's not their fault. They're just policy enforcers. It's the people that sit down in a dark room and hide and lie and create these policies to try and save their own skin.
Yeah.
Well, you've got enough, so share. So, I mean, these people out there are billions of dollars, trillions of dollars. They could help people and they choose not to. Well, you're not from my tribe if you act like that. Sorry, I don't want to know you. So leave me alone.
I do think sort of agree, disagree. I think on a level of the military, when you get people who are going, that's just how we do things, mate. But it's like, but you're in the position that could change this. But
they're too lazy, man, or they're too scared.
If all of us banded together and went, right, we all agree this isn't how things should do, let's change. But no, people are so stuck in that system. They're just like, nah, but the paperwork says this is how we do things. But it doesn't work.
Because they're too passive, because because that's hard work.
Yeah.
To stand up and be the one to be like, no, I don't agree with that. It's no good. My dad always said it's because I was the same in school. I imagine you were the same in school. I was in trouble all of the time. All the time. I was constantly getting isolated and expelled. And he calls it tall poppy syndrome. If you've got a field of poppies and there's one poppy that's sticking up above everyone else, that poppy's getting his head cut off.
Yeah.
You know, because you stand out too much. Yeah. You're the one that's making a fuss. What do they say? Oh, easier to label Kieran as a gobshite.
Yeah.
When really, no, Kieran is just standing up for some people.
Yeah.
Because he can see there's an issue here and he's speaking out about it.
Yeah.
And you got crucified for it.
Yeah.
And then there was no system in place to help you. Because the people that enforced the policy of the system, even if they wanted to help, they couldn't.
Yeah.
Because of all this bureaucracy and all this bullshit that's somebody else's idea.
Yeah.
But the French Revolution happened, it was a real thing. You know, it was because people decided to work together and be like, you know what, no, I don't agree with this king.
Yeah.
And what did they do to him? They lopped his head off like a tall poppy. Do you know what I mean? It's the same rules at play, and it will happen in this country if things don't change. It just will, it has to.
Yeah.
We're on a knife edge.
Yeah.
Something has to give somewhere, because if you're passive and you sit on the fence, it'll rip you up the middle.
Yeah.
You know, and strong people don't like to be passive. I can't sit idly by and watch evil things happen.
No.
I cannot and I will not.
But that's what I think, like, what I do, like now, I look back at my career and I hold my head high knowing that I never changed. I never became that person who went, oh, okay, boss, let's just do this. Let's just screw the lads over.
Yeah.
And like, even like, I was chatting to a lad last night. He's one of my handlers when I was a senior trainer. I was chatting to him last night because he just got out, started his own business. And he sent me, what a good way to end my day was, he was like, honestly, Kieran, he was like, the last time I enjoyed being in work was when I worked for you. I was like, I don't want to big you up too much. He was like, I was just like, I can't believe you just said this to me. I was like, put me in such a good mood yesterday. And I was like,
that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That really is.
So,
and that's because I personally believe is because you were true to yourself. You didn't lie to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't just roll over and show your belly because you were scared to speak up.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what our society does now. People just roll over and show their bellies to a higher power because they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
They won't look in that mirror, but they'll look in a phone screen and watch other people. So I mean, have a look at yourself instead, maybe, and think, can I make a difference?
Watch your phone and just leave negative comments on people's videos who are trying to do something with themselves.
This is it. People are so scared to try hard. People are so scared of social humiliation they won't put the effort in.
Yeah.
But you put the effort in.
Yeah.
And you tried really hard, and it culminated with you being in a really bad place mentally and really struggling to get the help because the system, even if it wanted to, the system wasn't able to help you. So what helped? What did you do?
So from that moment, it was sort of like, right, what is the root cause of this? What's causing this? The environment. So that's where I was just like, med centre. And it was actually, I went in there to review my meds. How are you feeling, Kieran? Same as usual. And this was like, when I was actually talking to the doctors going on, I was like, this is where I noticed as well where I had issues. I remember sitting down, they went, how many thoughts of like suicide do you have a day? And I went, yeah, just a normal amount. And they were like, what? I was like,
the normal amount is 0, bro.
Yeah, I was just like, just like every now and then, just pops into my mind.
Oh my God.
And at a point, it was like every day. The doctor was just like, okay, we need to talk about this.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, moving on, and it was like, got to the point where I went to the med centre, got to, they were like, how are you feeling? The usual back and forth. And I was like, yeah, I do not want to be on these meds anymore because I felt nothing. I just felt like a zombie. I was like, I do not want to be on these meds. And he was like, well, from what you've just told me, Kieran, he was like, I think we're going to have to put you on now 3 tablets. And I was just like, I'm done.
Oh, come on, bro.
And that was why I was just like, sign me off work right now, not going back. If your only answer is to put me on more medication, I'm not going back.
No.
So they signed me off work, signed me off for a week, went back, signed me off for another week. And then that was it then. I was just like, I'm not doing it. No. Unless something changes or I move to a different job, I was like, I physically cannot put myself back into that position. So then more and more things happened. And I remember actually having a thought at one point where I was like, maybe I have to do something silly to myself to make the army realise that there's an issue. And that's again where I was just like, I can't be having these thoughts in work. This is bad. That's where I was like, I can't go back. So eventually you get put on Pack 0 where it's basically you're off sick full time. And again, while I was off sick full time, had a phone call off the main doctor going, you're red on my system. Yep. I need to get you back in work. Okay, what's your plan? Well, I'm just going to send you back. That's not how it works, mate. Was there.
His plan was to just you red, I need you green, so I'm just going to basically put you green.
Yeah, that was
his idea.
So I'm just going to send you back to work. I was like, all right, but then I'll just be back to you and we'll just be back in this position in a few months' time.
Yeah. Just kicking the can down the road.
Yeah. So yeah, dug my heels in, and then it got to the point where they were like, well, you've been off work for so long now, we have to send you to a med board. I was like, if that's what you need to do, send me to a med board.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
They just send you back to work, man, because it's work that's the problem.
Yeah.
You're sending you back to the problem. You can't solve a problem that you're inside of. Yeah. You have to step outside of the problem to see it from I think it was Einstein that said that. It's just science at the end of the day.
You're never going to fix in the position that
no,
broke,
of course you can't.
In the environment that broke you, you're never going to fix in that.
No.
I
think it's the same with this system that we're in now. I think it's got to such a point, it's snowballed so much that I don't know how do you change a system from within this? Well, there are ways. You have to change the system from within the system.
Yeah.
But it takes conversations like this and communities like next door and stuff, and people coming together at the veteran centre, and these charities. It takes good people doing good work.
Yeah.
And other people to see that and think, you know what, maybe I might stand up and do something too. And that's how revolution starts. It starts as a small thing and it overlaps and it grows. And that's how you change a system from within the system.
Yeah.
Because the only other option is to break it all down.
Yeah.
And burn it all down.
Yeah. And
start again from the ashes. And that's the Phoenix myth, So I find all this stuff absolutely fascinating because I've seen it time. It's interesting you said that it got to a point where you thought that you needed to cause self-harm in order for someone to see.
Yeah.
Well, how common is that in teenagers? How common is that teenagers will self-harm because they don't know what else to do? And it's purely down to their environment. You realise your environment was not conducive of your mental health.
Yeah.
And you had no other option than to consider self-harm in order to change something. Well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you see it all the time in kids because no one is given the tools. We're not taught in school about breath work. We're not taught in school about true spiritualism or connection or real tribal community. And we're forced to do things we don't want to do. And that corrupts your very soul.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
And you feel powerless and you feel weak. But you changed it, man. You're doing something very special now. So let's get there. Let's see, how do we change things? What do we do? What's that process like?
So from that, it was sort of, right, how do I change this? I need to change the environment. Right, Kieran, you get medically discharged. Sound. Then the next challenge comes.
Yeah.
What do I do now?
Yeah. Oh shit. I mean, and this is what the Veteran Centre is so important because that is, I think that is harder than being in the army. I've never been.
Yeah.
But leaving something that you know.
Yeah.
That's comfortable. That's the hardest part because you're losing your safety.
Yeah. Because that was it. It was like, you're getting med discharge, got 6 months, and then you're out. And I sit there and I'm like, right, who's Kieran? And that was the hard question. I was just like, right, because you become the army. You just become, everything you do is for the army. No matter what, like, you're on leave, you're still thinking about, when I got back, I've got to do this. Everything is army. And I'm like, right, I've been doing this for 14 years now. Take me out of the army. What am I? Like, who am I? And at the time, I couldn't answer myself. I was like, what have I got to do? And that's where I was like, right, I don't want to just leave the army and just become another person who goes and gets a 9-to-5 job. I was like, I want to make something. So that's when I started looking at this. And I was just like, I look at all these other companies, you've got Danny who runs In the Dead Ground. I remember actually having a conversation with him. He came to camp to set up his stall and I went and had a chat with him and I was just like, I want to do something like this, but for dogs. Right. And he was just like, oh, okay. And then he just having a quick chat with him. And then it was really nice. Fast forward like 2 years, the Gibraltar Trading Company had a big get together, had loads of veteran businesses together. And now all of a sudden I'm sat there with Danny going, we've done it. And he was just like, mate, it's amazing.
Full circle, just like your first coach who coached you the dog, and then you see him at the end of your career.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with this guy. And I think the point that I want to focus on there is we talk about the transition and into the unknown being this scary element. But I think personally what's more scary is when you said just then, who is Kieran? Because you joined the army because you had a passion. Yeah. And it was so part of your identity at that formative years of your life was dogs. Yeah. You had a passion for dogs. So Kieran was someone who is passionate about dogs. There's a really interesting thing you can do. Ask yourself, if I had amnesia and I was put on a desert island, I didn't know my name or my parents or anything, who am I? Because that's what happened to you right there.
Yeah.
So it's because you build your identity based off the things that you see in life. The 5 institutions, it'd be school, the media, the church. These are the things that you look at to build a sense of who you are. And so you built an identity about yourself. You like dogs, you pursued the army. And then when that was over, it wasn't so much a transition from one state to another. It was the loss of your sense of self.
Yeah.
So you needed to do what? To rebuild yourself. And how did you do it? You found someone that was doing something that you were interested in, a master, so to speak, and you became a student again.
Yeah.
So I think maybe one of the things that can help with mental health crisis is to become a student and become a student of yourself.
Yeah.
Learn yourself, study yourself, and think who am I and what do I enjoy?
Yeah.
And if I find someone who I can see enjoying themselves, maybe I'll ask them. And then you can reach up and be like, oh, can you give me a hand up? And then a good person would see you down there and be like, oh, do you know what? Yeah.
Yeah. We'll help
An evil person would see you down there and will step on you to get to where they want to go. And that's the system that we're in.
Yeah.
The system that steps on people.
What you're saying there about looking down, and that's when you hit rock bottom.
There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah, and that's when you know the people who are around you. Like, I know the circle around me, all the people that were potentially for years around me are no longer around me. Because when I hit rock bottom, some of them went, oh, you'll be all right, just climb. And then they walk off and you're like, right, you're not helping me. Someone might just throw a torch down and go, yeah, use that. And then the people who you stick around you, your ring of steel, are the ones that abseil down. They sit with you and they go, don't worry, mate, we'll get you out of it.
Yeah,
and then they sit there with you and we're getting out of this together.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that you surround. I speak to people all the time. They're like, none of my friends really like that. And I'm like, get new friends.
100%.
Don't surround yourself with people who aren't going to help you.
1000%.
Yeah. When you're at your lowest and your mate turns around and puts their hand out and go, don't worry, we've got this.
Yeah.
They're the ones that you stick with.
100%.
Yeah.
They're the people that will be there they're the people who are going to war. They're the people that you want with you at your back.
Yeah.
Because you know for a fact that they put your needs before theirs.
Yeah.
And if you put their needs before yours, both of your needs are met. So why would you worry? I don't worry about myself too much because I know that my mum worries twice as much as I ever could.
Yeah.
So I mean, she's worried about me so much. Why would I add to that worry? All I have to worry about is just being kind.
Yeah.
I might not say be very nice to certain people, but I'll be kind to them. Sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind. It's important because if you are just nice to everyone all the time, you're just slapping a band-aid over people's problems, and you're doing them a disservice, and you do yourself a disservice by lying to yourself and not saying, "Hang on a minute, there's something wrong here, and I need help." And then it was the people who supported you that helped pull you up. That's a beautiful story, man.
Yeah.
So let's go now onto all this stuff.
Yeah.
Onto this good stuff. So what is it you actually started doing, man?
Like learning and educating. It was like, right, I've got an idea now. I want to make a veteran-owned dog equipment company.
Right.
How the hell do you get collars with your logo on them printed? I didn't even know where to start. So it was like, right, I need to do a lot of research. I need to, when I got med discharge, it was like, I've got 6 months now. I'm at the army in 6 months' time. I need to learn all this and work out how I do this in 6 months. So I started off, it's like what I looked at was a lot of people wait for perfection with business. I was like, right, I got to the point where I was like, I'm going to launch my business 1st of December, 2024. That was when I launched the business. And I was like, that's the date. I put that date in paper. My first original truck of hats arrived. And I was like, on the first week, and I was like, nothing else is here. I'm going to have to launch with hats.
Just with hats.
I was like,
hats only, man. I'm a hat company now.
Yeah. But I was going to commit to it. I was just like, right, we're just going to launch with hats.
Yeah, well, you got it.
Yeah. And then luckily, these were the first leads and collars. So we got the tactical leads and collars. They came in a few days before. So I was like, oh, thank God, I'm a dog company that can actually launch with a collar and a lead.
It's very cool. This is just really good quality stuff, man. It really is.
Like, fast forward now, 18 months. I get so many messages off people now, just like people who have been in the dog world for years, and they're like, your leads and your collars are the best collars and leads I've ever used.
They're really durable, man.
When I get that feedback, because again, it's like, you're always in your head, you're like, I went through so many different manufacturers, let's trial you. I get these, I've tested them, but then you still question yourself when you start selling them and you start sending them out, and you're just like, oh, I hope these don't go out and break.
Of course. Yeah, I get it.
But then you start getting all the feedback and you're like, oh, no, actually, I can do this.
Mm-hmm. Validation.
Yeah.
But if you don't question it, an artist is never fully happy with their work, because if they were, they wouldn't try any harder next time, would they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's where progress comes from. You know, you should be happy with what you've done, but you should always look to improve, I think.
Yeah.
Personally. Because this stuff is awesome. The brand, like the Hawk Canine.
Yeah.
Like, I have to get some for our little German Shepherd, man, I think.
Yeah.
I have to have something. I like it. It's very cool.
But now, like, again, like moving forward, it's sort of like that first year, it was very much like test and adjust.
Yeah.
Right, let's test, see what people are buying. So I've got obviously these ones without the handles on, the ones with handles on. The ones with handles on sell so much better than the ones without. So I'm like, okay, that'll be the standard going forward, is the ones with handles.
Yeah.
These leads, the tartan ones.
They're very cool. I like that. I think that's what I'm going to get.
But loads of people come back to me and go, love these leads.
Yeah.
Do they come in a different colour?
Yeah, black and red, please.
Yeah, tartan's very much like, you have to like tartan to rock tartan. So now I've got loads of those. I've got 4 different colours of loads of these coming in.
Do you have black and red?
We've got black, purple.
Oh, black and purple's perfect. That'll do. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, ideal.
So yeah, those things. And then like for the like apparel side, so like these hats, the ones I've got on my head, these are dedicated to Freddie. Because I always wanted him, everything I've done was just like, right, Freddie needs to be part of the business somehow. So I was just like, right.
Immortalise him.
What can I do? Make a hat. And then I cried so much that week. I launched the hats, like I did a launch process on. So again, it was all learning. I'm learning to release new products. So I got 50 hats in, launched them on the Friday. By the Sunday evening, they were all gone. I was oh my God.
This is working,
so many people are now walking around representing my dog. Like, this is amazing. So they became a thing. And now I'm like, right, how can I make this better? Because what I did was I went to a veteran event, and there's loads of veteran businesses there. What I love about it, all these veteran businesses, everyone does something different. So we're all there doing something different, and I'm like, right, there's a crossover. Everyone sells T-shirts, hats. My hats are different because they're dedicated to Freddie. How can I do that going forward?
Yeah.
So now I've got my legacy line. So I dedicate hats to different dogs that have served the country.
Oh, that's clever.
So we've got the next one coming out, Bonnie. My mate, he really bad, but she basically got fired out the door because they realised that she had terminal cancer.
Oh, that's
so she only lasted about 6 months as a civilian. So because he was going through a lot of mental health stuff as well, so I was just like, right, you're going to be the first dog that's not Freddie that's going to be represented. And people loved it, and people were like, that is an amazing idea. So like, and then I've got this vision in my head, because I always try and visualize going forward. And I like visualize in my head where, you know, there's a group of people like walk up to each other and they're like, oh, you got a Hawk Canine hat. What dog are you representing? I'm like, what dog are you representing?
That's cool, man. Yeah. It is like a little collection, dude.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it's like, I got the handler so the next one's coming out, purple, because he was just like, I wanted a purple to represent my dog. The patch on the front would be black.
Yeah.
It's got the dog's name in, so I was like, because I want the handler to pick the color and design the hat.
Yeah, so you get them involved in the process.
Yeah.
Do you think it might be, like obviously setting up this business and doing this, but and using Freddie as the brand, do you think it helped to process some of that trauma too, because you're doing something for Freddie?
Yeah.
And then again, you're saying, I want your dog to be the next. You're doing something for somebody else.
Yeah.
An act of service, really, and you're benefiting from it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it becomes like a positive feedback loop.
Yeah.
Where doing something for somebody else makes you feel good, and then that just snowballs.
Yeah.
And that's how we can change the system, is, you know, do something for somebody else without any expectation of anything back. Because this is a beautiful story, man. Like, it really is. I love it.
And again, so like March in Crufts, biggest dog show in the world.
Oh, you went to Crufts?
I went to Crufts. I set up a stand at Crufts, and I was like, how have I gone from? I started this a year prior to that, and I was like, I live in my van, and I'm like, I'm at the biggest dog show in the world, and that was like, again, like confirmation in me where I'm like, this system works. Like, I'm doing something here, because it's like, you know, when you're working for yourself, you've got no one patting on your back going, well done, mate, you're doing well. You're doing this. You just kind of, I'm hoping everything's working.
Yeah.
But then at Crufts, because we sort of like snuggled in, you know, there was a company that they had their main stand, and then they were like, oh, you can buy a little bit off us. Again, I only met her through social media, because she runs a business selling biking equipment. So we sort of linked up that way.
Yeah.
So she was like, yeah, you can buy this bit off me off this on the stand. So I turned up. She had 5 people, I think, there working with her. And they were like, how are you this busy, Kieran? I literally had a table with all my equipment on, and I was non-stop every day, 4 days. As soon as it started, oh, Hawk Canine. People, can I have a photo with you? And I'm like, I'm just some dude who lives in a van who sells collars. Like,
and I think that's why, bro. I think that's why, because people are screaming out for authenticity.
Yeah.
And you're not faking it.
Yeah.
You're just doing something that you love and you enjoy, and that's reflected in your products because you actually put time and effort.
Yeah, yeah.
And iterations. You tried and tried and tried.
Yeah.
And everything for a reason, man. And
Yeah,
I think that's why you're going to do so well and why you are doing so well. Is because it's fully authentic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there anything? Because I don't know how are we doing for time, by the way. Just gone too. So I think, is there anything that you want to specifically plug from your products or anything before we go outside and do some stuff with the dogs? Anything you want to talk about? Because I've asked you a lot of questions and I probably, talk too much.
No, I think, let's say like I've got, like in my head now, I've got like my core colours of what I want to do with my collars, my leads.
Yeah.
They're going to be like my core. And
Your
then I've
foundation.
yeah. And then like Gibraltar Trading Company, they've got a little stand over there. But
Okay.
me and him have got, he reached out to me and was like, do you want to do a collab? I was like, yeah. So let's do a collab. So we've got
Sweet.
some, because he does a lot of silkies, so we've got some silkies with dogs coming out
Nice.
on them. So that's his side. And then my side is we've got a tiger print collar coming out.
Oh, cool.
Which is really cool. Looking
I
towards
want that.
And like I've shown a few people that, and people are just like the one sample that we had.
Freya
So
needs
many
that.
people are like, I want
Freya
that, I want
needs
that.
that,
So that was in my head. I was just like, right, if this works, going forward, all my camo collars will be a collab with him.
Oh,
And
cool.
he was just,
Nice.
I told him this, and he was just like, yeah, if this works, and he was like, I'm happy to do that. And I'm
Sweet,
like, yeah,
man.
sweet. So it's so many different opportunities coming up,
Yeah.
and then
Progression, collaboration.
yeah, and then like little things as well. I looked at like bike tables.
Yeah.
There's a company that sell them the bike tables. So you train, make it up, put a dog on there, and then it's basically getting the dog how to learn how to bike. We looked at a company and went, here's selling those, and they are rubbish. So my mate over there, Lorian, we banged our heads together. He's a carpenter, and I was just like, can you make these and make them better? And he went,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, you can.
So now
yeah,
we've
good
got
chippy.
and we've now got a police. There's a police officer over in Worcester who's he's the head dog guy.
Okay,
He's
sweet.
seen it. I put a video of it online, and he went, "Oh, I want that." I went, "Yeah." So he's setting me up as
Awesome.
a supplier to the police.
Fuck yeah.
I've got free shops that I supply to with my equipment. So like,
Nice,
but a
man.
pet shop came to me like after about 6 months to run the business and went, "Do you sell wholesale?" I was like, "I don't at the moment, but I'm
We
never
will
going to
be.
turn down
Yeah,
money."
we will be. You
I was
will
like,
be.
Again, it was like educate right.
Yeah.
How do I sell wholesale? Like,
yeah.
How these are what they're priced on the website. Obviously, I don't price them at that much because they need to make a profit to sell on. So it was like, right, let's educate on how we do wholesale. So it was like, right, educate myself on wholesale.
More things to learn.
Yeah,
More
make
things
up
to
this
do.
big pack and try and make it all look professional. Right, yeah, this is my wholesale pack. Have a
Yeah.
read of that, and then loads of people putting in orders. I'm like, oh, this is incredible. And yeah, like I say, it's only been 18 months now, or just over 18 months, and now
You're flying.
just so excited to see the direction where we're going.
You're excited. You're
yeah.
excited. And you're passionate, man. That's so good. I'm going to try and wrap this up a little bit because what I take away from that is that you had a passion and you pursued it,
Yeah.
and then you transitioned from your passion and were forced into a box you didn't enjoy, and that broke you mentally. And the way you fixed it was by pursuing your passions again and being positive, and finding people that thought the same, a shared belief system, and then getting to work and studying something and learning something and
Yeah.
growing and doing baby steps
Yeah.
to make yourself better and enjoy what you do, and also to help other people.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think a life lived in service of others is a life well lived, and if you're doing something for somebody else, you're not so worried about yourself for a change, So
Yeah.
I think your story and what you've done, I mean, these pictures are incredible. I mean, this is gangster, man. This looks so cool. It looks so cool. And then these products, they look amazing, they feel amazing, they're durable.
Yeah.
So you're building something that lasts,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're representing your team.
yeah.
That's hats dedicated to Freddie. Freddie lives on through you.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Freddie's life was worth something. So I think people should try and live a life that's worth fucking living. Do you know what I mean? Should we go see what these dogs can do outside?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. We could
Sweet.
go
I think
to
I'm gonna
that.
get a drink, guys. If you want to get a drink and stuff, and then we'll go outside and have a look at what the dogs are up to.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's always got our everyday lead, and then she's got the tartan collar on because it suits her so well.
It does
but
suit her, yeah.
She's,
I want a tartan collar or a tartan lead in black and purple, and I want the tiger. Is it the tiger collar?
tiger print. Yeah.
Freya needs it.
So Ursula's story quickly before we go out. She's a retired military dog. She lost her eyes in service. She was out in Cyprus. She got leishmania out there, so they took her eyes out basically. She came back. Just before I adopted her, they gave her a spay operation. She bled out internally, so they had to give her a blood transfusion.
Oh, baby girl.
So she's been through the wars. The second I met her was when I was going through when I was very deep in my depression, and she was the thing that grounded me, and I was just like, "You're coming in with me, girl." And every single day, I see a dog with no eyes running around. I'll go swimming in the river, and she'll just swim next to me. She has no idea where she's going, but she's got so much confidence just to follow me.
It's not confidence. She's got faith in you, bro.
Yeah.
She trusts you.
I've done too well with building her confidence. She now thinks she can take over the world.
Wow, that's how it should be.
We are taking over the world.
That's how it should be. We'll take over the world, man, together, community.
And then we've now got Flick, who I'm going to show you all in a minute.
Man.
He's the new recruit. He's only 16-month-old. And if anyone in here is thinking about buying a Mallee, you'll see you in a minute with Flick, and you'll probably never want to touch a Mallee ever in your life.
Can we just have a round of applause for Kieran? Because what he's done is awesome. Cheers, man.
Good, brother.
I can get a drink, and then we'll hook this up outside.